Salena Zito is going to do double duty with us at least twice a week because Salena Zito's columns get to the heart of everything going on in Pennsylvania and the surrounding region, but especially in the Keystone State. Good morning, Salena. How are you?
Good morning, sunshine. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for joining me this morning. I wonder what your reaction is to the one CNN poll that came out yesterday that stunned me. Casey 46, McCormick 46. I was surprised. I thought Dave McCormick would not close until October.
I wasn't stunned. Probably because I follow this every day. But Casey was only going to get to a number and then stall. And McCormick, because he was unknown, had the ability to move. And McCormick has been doing that arduous duty of showing up in places that matter. You and I talk about this all the time. Erie, Luzerne, places very similar to Ashtabula in Ohio or Trumbull in Ohio. And these are the places where these races are decided. And as he shows up, people see and hear him. Casey has been a fixture in Pennsylvania politics since 1996. He's held statewide office since that time. But people don't, interestingly enough, if you look at the polling data, they don't know much about him. Where McCormick has had this opportunity to introduce himself to the voters. Casey has tried to make this about residency. That didn't stick. He's tried to make the race about snackflation. That didn't stick. And so it was inevitable that voters would start to pay attention to McCormick.
He's a fabulous candidate. Dave is a fabulous candidate. I'm looking forward to that. Soon I'll be calling him Senator, not David. Let me now do, I love this. This is like play-by-play with Salena on Pennsylvania stuff. Former President Trump sat down with Sean Hannity in Harrisburg yesterday, and I want to play for you some clips as we go through, Salena, and get your commentary. The first one is the longest, but it's about fracking. Donald Trump last night in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, cut number 17.
So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania cannot even take a chance because that's the real opinion from her. Now, the whole country would go down the tubes if you didn't do the fossil fuel thing. It just would go. And you can do all sorts of other things. But, Germany tried it, and it lasted for about 9 months, and they were going to go down the tubes entirely. And somebody else came in, and I hate to say, they're building a coal plant every single week, and they're building nuclear, and they're doing a lot of things. It's never worked. It never will work. But Pennsylvania can't take a chance that answer is true. But she's been there for 20 years. That's what she's been saying for a long time. And she will do that. There's no chance that she's going to allow it. The election will take place. If she won, you're not going to have any fracking in Pennsylvania. You have 500,000 jobs. Think of that. It's your biggest business. And you get a big majority of your income from fracking. And you have somebody that's not going to allow fracking. She's not going to allow it. You can't take the chance. You have no choice. You've got to vote for me. You've got to vote for me.
All right, so Salena Zito, what do you think? Does that appeal work? He had a huge crowd in Harrisburg last night.
He did. That's the second time he's in Harrisburg. I would have actually been there last night, except I had to get up early to do this lovely show with Hugh. That was a great answer. It was a little self-deprecating, a little humor in it, and it was the right answer. Fracking, hydraulic fracturing, is a big deal in our state. It employs directly, I think, 150,000. However, when there's 7 jobs associated with the industry indirectly, and that leads up to anywhere between 5 to 700,000. That's not even counting the farmers who get royalties from it. And you contrast that with today. Tim Walz will be in Erie, right? He's doing a rally where they're trying to get Pittsburgh Democrats to go to it. I don't know what that means, other than maybe they're not getting the kind of response that they expect. All their events are invite only. So, in Erie, in 2 weeks, it's going to be the big shale convention right at the spot where he's going to be. It would be an opportunity to say, look, we're going to lift the ban on LNGs, liquid natural gas, that the Biden Harris team put in place in January. And this proves that we are supporting fracking. But I highly doubt they're going to do it, because if you're going to say you support fracking, but your values on climate change have not changed, then you are talking about out both sides of your mouth, and people will go with what you've historically believed.
Yeah, she's been anti-fracking for 8 years. She had a conversion allegedly on CNN. I don't believe her. I don't think Pennsylvania believe it. Let's go back. Donald Trump talking more broadly here about what 2024 is about. Cut number 19.
Not that different. It's still about the forgotten man and the forgotten woman. People are being treated horribly in this country. We're a country that's being laughed at all over the world. And I'll be honest, if Joe Biden would be a great president, I would be happier than being the worst president in the history of our country, because I want to see what's good for the country. And I would have been very happy. I have very nice places I could be. This is not easy. I got shot at. I got hit. I could have been all over that place. I could have. But you know what? It's very simple. And it starts with make America great again. That's what we have to do.
What do you make of that answer, Salena, Zito?
Well, look, here is where Donald Trump shines when he talks about the forgotten man and forgotten woman. There was a reason that in February of 2021, he showed up in East Palestine and he walked around in galoshes. I kid you not, I have pictures of him handing out bottles of water and cheeseburgers. Despite his growing up with money with his parents, he has always held this connection with the forgotten man. And 42 miles away from East Palestine is Butler, right? He understands to show up and have those people feel heard. He understands the sense of place and rootedness. And so that answer doesn't just pertain to Pennsylvania. It pertains to places all over the country. You and I have talked about this a million times. He's talking about Ashtabula. He's talking about Youngstown. He's talking about these places all across the country where Republicans and Democrats don't show up and ask to earn their vote.
I am very glad as well that Sean Hannity asked him to react to the school shooting in Georgia yesterday, where 2 students, 2 teachers were murdered by a 14-year-old. And Donald Trump was asked about it. This is what he said, cut number 20.
Well, it's a sick and angry world for a lot of reasons. And we're going to make it better. We're going to heal our world. We're going to get rid of all these wars that are starting all over the place because of incompetent American leadership. And we're going to make it better. Viktor Orban made a statement. They said, bring Trump back and we won't have any problems. He was very strong about that. So we're going to hopefully do very well. We have an election coming up. And actually, they keep saying 60, but it starts in Delaware and North Carolina and other places a lot sooner than that. So I think we're going to be very well set up to do a great job. And do we love Pennsylvania? Do we love it?
So his total answer, Salena, is it's a sick and dangerous world. I am going to bet $100 that David Muir and his colleagues will open the debate talking about school shootings. And Kamala Harris will say we need to ban AR-15. And Donald Trump is going to say, well, I got shot at by an AR-15, and that's not the answer. What did you think of his answer? Just, it's a sick and dangerous world.
Well, I mean, you still, as someone that has covered him for a very long time, same with you can still see the impact that shooting has had in his expressions, right? And that answer, speaks to the problems that we have in this country that go beyond the devices that are used to hurt people. People are going to, if your mind is not right, if things are not going right in your head, you are going to use what is ever available to commit whatever heinous crime you want to commit. And that's the sort of danger and sickness in all across the world. We don't effectively and meaningfully address mental illness. We haven't since we started taking institutions away. I'm not saying that those institutions were perfect, they were far from perfect. They needed reform. However, there are people out there that need help, and we're not helping them. And the oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes they end up with tragic results because they've not been treated.
Let me play now. Cut 21. Donald Trump is talking with Sean Hannity about the illegal migration problem. Cut 21.
If they won, you'd have not 20 million, you have 100 million people. You won't have Social Security, you won't have Medicare, you won't have anything. Already, if you take a look at the numbers, they're filling up and loading up Social Security, Medicare with illegal immigrants that have come into our country, many of them from jails and many of them from very bad places. And we're not.
All right, Salena, we have less than a minute to the break. If you'll stay with me, I'd love to talk to you in the next segment as well, but a quick reaction to the 100 million illegals will come.
We have no idea what the number is. We truly don't. The government doesn't know. The Border Patrol, they have an idea, but it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed bluntly. And there are bad actors that are coming across more frequently than the families that are trying to escape hardships.
Last night, former President Trump went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for a town hall with a massive crowd. Sean Hannity of Fox News hosted. The one and only Salena Zito joins me. Salena writes for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Wall Street Journal. She writes for the New York Post and the Washington Examiner, and everything that she does is at salenazito.com. Follow her on X at Zito Salena. Salena, I have one more cut that I want to play. It takes 1:42. Cut number 22. Donald Trump responding to Sean Hannity about Kamala Harris.
So she wants to be, if they won, you'd have not 20 million. So she wants to be politically correct, and we can't be politically correct anymore. Look, we have October 7th. People saw it. We have things going on in the world right now with Israel and with the Middle East is blowing up. It's blowing up. We have Ukraine and Russia. That would never happen. That would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. If I were the president, it would have never happened, and everybody knew it. Iran was broke. They didn't have the money for Hamas and for Hezbollah. They didn't have the money for anybody. They wanted to get by. And we would have made a fair deal with them. I was only looking to make a fair deal with them. But, I wanted to say it so much during my term. We went 4 years without any blow-ups. We had no World Trade Center blow-up. We had no radical Islamic terror. We had no radical Islamic terror. Because we were very tough at the borders, and we were very tough with our statements, and we had the whole world was a safe place. That was the question they asked Viktor Orban, who's really considered a very strong. They said he's a strong man. Sometimes you need a strong man. He's a strong man. He's the prime minister of Hungary. And he said, you bring back Trump, everybody. Now, I'm not saying it, but he said it because I'd rather say respect. But he said, everybody was afraid of Trump. You bring him back, you're not going to have any problems. It's all going to go away. The world is blowing up.
So, Salena, Harrisburg has got 50,000 people. It's the state capital. It's the ninth largest city in Pennsylvania. What do you make about his choice to go there and his assertion there that the world will calm down? Does that resonate all across the Keystone State?
It does resonate across the state. He was in the farm show complex. It is an iconic building. There is not a farmer in our state that has not been through that complex, beginning as a child with the 4-H or the FFA, right? And so there's an emotional connection, first of all, just being in that building. And Harrisburg, like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia proper, is one of those blue dots in the state. However, the county is not, and the counties that surround it are not, and those counties are the ones that are going to make the difference. I say this all the time. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and to a smaller part, Harrisburg, have the larger populations in the state. But there is a ceiling. Where this election will be decided are in counties that surround those cities. The margins in those counties, just like in 2016, were able to place Trump over the top. In 2020, there was a myriad of different reasons, but Biden, because of his history in our state, was able to pick off some of those working class and bring them back to the fold. But I think that Biden and Harris, Biden was already struggling when he was still running, and Harris has to date not been able to connect with those voters. And I've also
So I,
not
I have a
seen.
hypothetical. I want to ask a hypothetical before we run out of time, Salena. If Kamala Harris had Rachel Maddow host a town hall, and obviously you'd have magnometers, et cetera, but no ticket, no invitation, no busing in, could she fill that arena in Harrisburg?
I don't know, because every event in Pittsburgh has been by invite only, and you've been bussed there if you weren't already there. So that is my struggle as a reporter, trying to cover her and understand what her coalition is. These events have been tightly controlled. It is invite only. It's traditionally been union people and or the committee people that have been invited, or activists. So I don't understand what the enthusiasm is for her, among independent voters, right?
Quick, Selena, I just went, you're younger than I am, but I just went to my 50th reunion 7 miles from Pennsylvania. The union guys are for Trump. I mean,
I
it's
know.
not even close.
Well, but there's the union guys, right? And then there's the social justice unions, like the SEIU, like steel workers today aren't just steel workers. In fact, there's probably less steel workers in the steel workers union. They're baristas, right? And these are the people that are part of the social justice movement. So that makes it very, very different.